Don't come back to the store. Peace and power. Welcome back. We are about to get into the Kybalion once again. And so just want to go ahead and show up. Just putting a chapter in here. Hey, staying when I'm free, and then all of a sudden you gotta tell me 99 things. I'm trying to decide what's going on. Oh, I'm trying. So, yep, we're gonna get into it in a minute. I have my zeolite in my bottle. I've had my humid forward. I also have my bee pollen. Some watermelon with some fresh basil from my garden. And I think when all that, something went left somewhere. Okay. Something went left, definitely. Hold on. Okay. Mm, greetings. I'm about to get into the client. Okay. So, we are on chapter 6 today. Yeah. I was touching up my hair too. So I've been sitting here all day and I'm touching my hair up, and then I got on a video. I like watching interviews. And so in the video, the dude was talking about being a master of your emotions. And so I'm like, the Kybalion, you ain't read your chapter. So here I am. I'm gonna read this and then get back to touching up my hair. I don't want this to be a 50-day process. And so chapter 6 is the divine paradox. I'm gonna get a little lifted first. I don't know if the liftedness is helping the reading or not, but I am who I am. Yeah, just accept me for how I come. Because I was sitting here thinking, I'm like, something has upset my stomach. I'm like, does my body feel like it's needing a detox? That watermelon. And let me tell y'all, I don't buy seedless watermelons for a reason. Oh, no, I didn't get that email. I got an email from you saying you got your oil. Let me check it now. Child. What is really going on? Okay. I hope I didn't do that on camera. Could y'all see that? Like, if you did, I gotta start over. I don't know how to cut out the beginning of the video. Let me see. I know everybody know what I'm doing, but everybody can't see what I'm doing. And that's the difference. Oh, purchase. Let me see what this song is. Yes, sir. I want to get higher than the I can't. Ooh. Okay. Boom. Let me see. Hey, hey. Let's pay it some respect. And we'll... Yes, sir. Hey, hey, hey. Hey, hey. Hey. I could just turn down my phone. Hey. Hey. Pull it up. Hey, hey. Okay. All right, let me cut it off for they hit you with a So yes, ain't then like an anthem. Okay. But not when you did. You know, girl, I'm confused. So you could see it or you couldn't? Because I ain't gonna do nothing but hop out and hop back in. Because when it's time to monetize, you know, I don't need them to have no reason. You talking about I'm on here doing some ignorant stuff. Child. Reading this article about Pelosi. They say that Taiwan say if Pelosi come, or China say if Pelosi come, they're going to aim a weapon this way. And so weird because I saw somebody else say earlier that they didn't want to see. Yeah. Okay. You gotta have some strong shoulders to shoot that gun. No, to bring. Thank you, girl. Cause child, I couldn't believe. I'm glad I got something up though. I'll just be on that. Okay, doke sometime. Okay, so let me exit out of social media. Cause child, I be scrolling. It's a picture circulating around social media of this brother shooting this big, huge gun, and so I'm like, that looks like it would hurt your joint in your arm, but men are made different. Now, again, I took my zeolite serious just a few minutes ago. Why? Because my stomach was hurting. And zeolite is good for hangovers, number one, but I'm not hungover. It's good for hydrating the system. And so the other thing is like when you do supplements and water, you have to drink a lot of water. And so make sure you are moving these things in and out of your body properly. I also took my zinc today and my magnesium. I take that at night. I'm going to take one before it gets dark though. And so yeah, supplement. Trying to think what else I took. I think that's about it. I'm going into a water fast. Those of you that want to join, I'm going into a water fast. Me and the Abundant Sister, we water fast last year together. And so feel free to let us know if you'd like to join us. There's power in fasting in numbers. This year, I want to discuss more so the things we're trying to manifest. Because it's very Important that you speak on those things. Okay, so let me go back to the top. So we're gonna get into the Kybalion. We got Rachel in the building. Rachel said she saw this song and it reminded her of me. And so let me play the rest of it, y'all. You gotta pause it up. Hey, hey, hey. I need to put this. This is my theme song.
Yeah, I said that's what he said.
He said somebody wrote the weed.
That means 12. That means 12. That means we live in the new. We live in the new day hour. Yeah.
Okay. I ain't in like brother singing. We did not ask you, lady. See, you just come on. You in the middle of my video. You interrupt me talking. Let me get you off the screen. YouTube is kind of rude with the videos. Okay. He said, okay. Yeah, so we do water fast. We drinking only water. High quality water. I do distill. The Abundant Sister doesn't too much care for the distilled. You do the water that you do. This year I am incorporating mineral water. I will be going to the local well and filling up my water jugs and taking all that water in. I do take my water jugs, they're glass, they're old wine glasses, jars. I buy the wine in jars. And so I put it in there and then charge it in the sun. So I got 2 gallons out there, just chilling in the sun. My seed also makes his own sun water. He likes the sparkling water that they have, where they're just adding, the carbonation to the water. But yeah, we're gonna do high quality water this year. I feel like it's about time. This year was a lot of heavy emotional stuff. So when I fast, I get answers. Anything I'm seeking answers on, when you're empty on that level, you're gonna be in contact with spirit. It's not gonna be yeah. And so that's why I like it. Now, my grandmother used to fast. Fasting is culture. They always say, "Oh, fasting is dangerous." Fasting is not dangerous. And I'm gonna share with y'all this channel right quick. Sorry, this video might be longer than the others, but it's important for anybody that want to participate. Let me go over to this YouTube. Hold on. What am I looking for? Now, you can go over to this channel if you want to research fasting. That's my homegirl. Let me put it in the box. I'm like, girl, I'm on YouTube, girl. I'm trying to put it in the box. Okay. Yes, I love our brothers singing and dancing. Singing and dancing. Okay, so that's the channel. Let me share the screen. These people testimonies are nothing but encouraging. It's a great place to start if you are interested in learning about fasting. let me see. If you are concerned about the water, and then like some organization. He cooks, shows you recipes. He goes and he has everything water. And so under here, this is him doing research on what kind of water is best, blah blah blah.
Let this sweet mineral melt in your.
Like I said, do what's best for you. I like distill. Somebody else might like spring water. I don't like spring water. I prefer distilled. It reminds me a little bit of the well water. I prefer well water. And so this is a playlist, distilled versus sun water. And so this is him telling how to charge your water in the sun. Hold on.
All right, so today we're going to be talking about how to make sun water. Now, this is something that I've mentioned briefly in one of my earlier videos, but I thought it would be necessary to kind of do its own little video and just talk about some of the benefits of sun water, how, how did I find it, stuff like that, all right? So sun water and alkalizing your water, they go hand in hand. Now, there's one thing that I want to make very clear from the get-go. Anytime you alkalize your water using a chemical, that is not the type of alkalized water that you want to be consuming, and that is not the type of alkalized water we're going to be talking about. Now, I got a comment on a video recently, and I believe it was a young lady, and she was talking about how she buys alkaline water from the store. And I'm so happy that she made that comment because it's something I need to address, all right? When companies give you these high pH numbers, it might say 7, 7.8 or 9.0 or whatever it is, there's no guarantee that that water hasn't been chemically alkalized, all right? And we do not want to be chemically alkalizing our water, okay? So the only way that I personally know of alkalizing the water with somewhat ease would be sun water. Sun water is simple. You take a glass jar, you take a glass container. I have a 3-gallon glass container, clear glass. The lid is glass. It has a silicone ring, I believe. No, wait, my second one doesn't have a silicone ring. So it's just glass, it's pure glass. And I distill my water. And then I put it in this glass container and I sit it out on my porch. Actually, mine sits in my windowsill because the sunlight comes right through. And the sun will naturally alkalize the water. It does not get any more simple than that, okay? The sun is energy, all right? All heat is energy, okay? And the sun not just provides heat, but it provides pretty much all the nutrition that your body could possibly need. That is why getting out and absorbing the sun is so important. And that's also why your skin produces so much vitamin D when you're out in the sun, okay? This is something that we utilize, and this is our true energy source. So depending on how much water you're putting in this glass container, it can take anywhere from 3 days, 2-3 days to alkalize the water, up to a week or more. But to be honest with you, it's going to have instantaneous alkalizing effects. Okay, now I've done tests on my water to see how quickly it was alkalizing. And like I said, the larger the container, the longer it took to get the water above 7. But even if you're taking some distilled water and let's say you were to test your water with the tester, and I have videos of me doing this, and I'll link that if you guys want to check that out. You test your water and it says it's 6.58, right? You can set that water outside if it's a gallon of water or a liter of water. You can set it outside for a day and you can test it, and you'll have a noticeable increase in the alkalinity of the water. Now, these testers, they're very cheap, they're inexpensive, they're not super accurate. They're going to tell you whether the process is working or not, and it definitely does work. And that's all you need to know. Now, to get the water above 7, especially if you got a gallon or more, it takes some time. So if you really want to go hard, you can grab a couple of, one gallon glass containers or a couple of 3 gallon glass containers, and you can just sit the water out there every day. Or you could just leave it out there, and as you want to drink it, you bring it in, you replace it with another, gallon or another 3 gallon or several different jars. And then that way you can always be drinking what I call sun water. The cool thing about sun water is it does change the flavor of the water. When I very first started doing it, me and my brother both noticed that the water had a hint of sweetness to it. It's nothing like you might think as far as, sugar or whatever. It's not like that at all. It's a very faint sweetness, and it probably, well, I don't know if you're going to notice it right up front. I don't know if it's going to take you a while. I'm not really sure. For me, I had been drinking distilled water for a few months.
Let me find
Hi, I'm Chris James, and you're watching The Healthy Alternative.
He has a Facebook group too. If y'all need that kind of support, I'm in the group. I don't go over on Facebook a lot though. I just have a business page, and so I don't too much care for them. But yeah, let me go and see if I can find a video. This was crazy. These people lost so much weight. She lost 100 pounds. She lost weight. She reversed her diabetes fasting. His brother, him, his sister lost double her body weight. She lost 100 pounds in 5 months. Water fasting. Yeah. So yeah, check out the brother channel. Let me get back to what I was doing. Chef Ricardo made a cinnamon clove only tea this morning. I drank it and I'm just now feeling hungry from this morning. Who is Chef Ricardo? Your husband? But yeah, that's I like cinnamon. I drink it. My husband drinks it sometimes. I mix cacao, maca, and not really maca, the cacao, ginger, cinnamon, and I sweeten it with honey. Oh, I just done made him yo boo. Yeah, drop his channel in the chat. And I'm going to get started, child. After I'm gonna wait till you drop it because I don't know if you gotta hop off. But we are on chapter 6. Can you say 6? The Kybalion, and the chapter is the divine paradox. The half-wise, recognizing the comparative unreality of the universe, imagine that they may defy its laws. Such are vain and presumptuous fools, and they are broken against the rocks and torn asunder by the elements by reason of their folly. The truly wise, knowing the nature of the universe, use law against laws, the higher against the lower, and by the art of alchemy transmute that which is undesirable into that which is normal. Let me see. Where is my bookmark? Okay. So this is a quote. I'm going to start from the beginning. Excuse me. The half-wise, recognizing the comparative unreality of the universe, imagine that they can defy its laws. Such are vain and presumptuous fools, and they are broken against the rocks and torn asunder by the elements by reason of their folly. The truly wise, knowing the nature of the universe, use laws against laws, the higher against the lower, and by the art of alchemy transmute that which is undesirable into that which is worthy, and thus triumph. Mastery consists not in abnormal dreams, visions, and fantastic imaginings or living, but in using the higher forces against the lower, escaping the pains of the lower planes by vibrating on the higher. Transmutation. Mastery consists not in abnormal dreams, visions, and fantastic imaginings or living, but in using the higher forces against the lower, escaping the pains of the lower planes by vibrating on the higher. Transmutation, not presumptuous denial, is the weapon of the master. And that's just explaining. And I didn't even think about it. I can look up shelf recorder. That's just explaining that the masters, they have learned not to be moved and swayed back and forth. And so they learn how to get what they want in their life. Let me see if we got any pictures. Hold on now. Meat Free Monday, okay.
If you're showing any signs of premature aging and burning inches of
Oh, so what is really going on? Okay, so we'll watch this at the end. Let me remove this. I need to share. Need to share tab. I don't even have the book pulled up. It shut down on me. There it is. I don't know what happened, but all my tabs got closed. So I'm having to pull everything back up. All right. So that's the quote I was reading right now. The half wise recognizing. Oh, let me share it. Duh. Mm-hmm. Okay. The half wise, recognizing the comparative unreality of the universe, imagine that they may defy its laws, such are vain and presumptuous fools, and they are broken against the rocks and torn asunder by the elements by reason of their folly. The truly wise, knowing the nature of the universe, use law against laws, the higher against the lower, and by the art of alchemy transmute that which is undesirable into that which is worthy, and thus triumph. Mastery consists not in abnormal dreams, visions, and fantastic imaginings or living, but in using the higher forces against the lower, escaping the pains of the lower planes by vibrating on the higher. Transmutation, not presumptuous denial, is the weapon of the master. So he's saying transmutation, not nothing else. Okay, so do I want to read out my book since I'm reading on the screen already anyway? Let me see. Okay, I'm gonna go with the book. I'm gonna cut the camera off, y'all, and get to reading. It would be nice if I remember to scroll too. This is the paradox of the universe resulting from the principle of polarity, which manifests when the all begins to create. Hearken to it for its points, the difference between half wisdom and wisdom. While to the infinite all, the universe, its laws, its powers, its life, its phenomena, are as things witnessed in the state of meditation or dream. Yet to the all that is finite, the universe must be treated as real, and life and action and thought must be based thereupon accordingly, although with an ever understanding of the higher truth, each according to its own plane and laws, were the all to imagine that the universe were indeed reality. Then woe to the universe, for there will be then no escape from lower to higher. Divine work. Then would the universe become a fixity, and progress would become impossible. And progress will become impossible. And if man owning to half wisdom acts and lives and thinks of the universe as merely a dream, akin to his own finite dreams, then indeed does it so become for him, and like a sleepwalker, he stumbles ever around and around in a circle, making no progress and being forced into an awakening at last by his falling bruised and bleeding over the natural laws which he ignored. Keep your mind ever on the star, but let your eyes watch over your footsteps, lest you fall into the mire by reason of your upward gaze. So if you're not paying attention to what's going on, you're going to be walking to your own demise. Okay? So we get into the meat of this thing right now. I'm trying to find it. Right here. Keep your mind ever on the star, but let your eyes watch over your footsteps, lest you fall into the mire by reason of your upward gaze. Remember the divine paradox that while the universe is not, still it is. Remember ever the two poles of the truth, or two poles of truth, the absolute and the relative. Beware of half truths. That's why I be telling y'all about all these people pushing all these things. One of the main things is being vegan and all this. Yes, your body goes through periods you should go without food sometimes, and you should have a heavy vegetable cleansing sometimes, as well as fruit. But the body is not supposed to be naturally just in an alkaline state. It has to be in between, just like they just said, the poles, in between the poles of alkaline and acidity. There's a midpoint there, and that's where you're supposed to be. If it's too acidic, it's bad, and if it's too alkaline, it's bad. Yeah. So he said, if you don't pay attention to what's going on, you'll be walking to your own death. Just you following whatever is being pushed at the moment. Remember the divine paradox that while the universe is not, still it is. Remember ever the two poles of truth, the absolute and the relative. Beware of half truths. What Hermeticists know as the law of paradox is an aspect of the principle of polarity. The Hermetic writings are filled with references to the appearance of the paradox in the consideration of the problems of life and being. The teachers are constantly, excuse me, the teachers are constantly warning their students against the error of omitting the other side of any question. And their warnings are particularly directed to the problems of the absolute and the relative, which perplex all students of philosophy and which cause so many to think and act contrary to what is generally known as common sense. And we caution all students to be sure to grasp the divine paradox of the absolute and the relative, lest they become entangled in the mire of half truth. With this in view, this particular lesson has been written, and they instruct us to read it carefully. Let's see if we can flow into it. Oh. The first thought that comes to the thinking man after he realizes the truth that the universe is a mental creation of the all is that the universe and all that it contains is a mere illusion and unreality against which idea his instincts revolt. So, an unreality against which idea his instincts revolt. But this, like all other great truths, must be considered both from the absolute and the relative points of view. From the absolute viewpoint, of course, the universe is in the nature of an illusion, a dream, a phantasmagoria, as compared to the all in itself. We recognize that this even in our ordinary view, for we speak of the world as a fleeting show that comes and goes and is born and dies, for the element of impermanence and change, finiteness and unsubstantiality. Yeah. For the element of impermanence and change, finiteness and unsubstantiality must ever be connected with the idea of a created universe when it is contrasted with the idea of the all. No matter what may be our beliefs concerning the nature of both, philosopher, metaphysician, scientists, and theologian all agree upon this ideal, and the thought is found in all forms of philosophical thought and religious conceptions, as well as in the theories of the respective schools of metaphysics and theology. So, the Hermetic teachings do not preach the unsubstantiality of the universe in any stronger terms than those more familiar to you, although their presentation of the subject may seem somewhat more startling. Anything that has a beginning and an ending must be, in a sense, unreal and untrue, and the universe comes under the rule in all schools of thought. From the absolute point of view, there is nothing real except the all, no matter what terms we may use in thinking of discussing the subject. Whether the universe be created of matter or whether it be a mental creation in the mind of the all, it is unsubstantial, non-enduring, a thing of time, space, and change. We want you to realize this fact thoroughly before you pass judgment on a Hermetic conception of the mental nature of the universe. Think over any and all of the other conceptions and see whether this be not true of them. But the absolute point of view shows merely one side of the picture. The other side is the relative one. Absolute truth has been defined as things as the mind of God knows them, while relative truth is things as the highest reason of man understands them. And so while the universe must be unreal and illusionary, a mere dream or result of meditation, nevertheless, through the finite minds, forming a part of that universe and viewing it through mortal faculties. The universe is very real indeed and must be so considered. In recognizing the absolute view, we must not make the mistake of ignoring or denying uh, the facts and phenomena of the universe as they present themselves to our mortal faculties. We are not the all. Remember, I say you are not the all. Y'all going around saying we are gods, we are gods, we are gods. And it's like, yes, in a sense, because you are a part of the all, but no, because you cannot even manifest your own reality here in this 3D plane. If you God, you wouldn't be living in misery. You would not be where you're not. You would not be where you don't want to be. And then it's also comparing what the all has created, and it's like the only thing man can create is duplicating itself, and that takes away. It's like a subtraction. The all, when it creates, there's no subtraction. And okay, so to take familiar illustrations, we all recognize that the fact matter. Let me slow down. To take familiar illustrations, we all recognize that the fact that matter exists to our senses, we will fare badly if we do not. And yet, even our finite minds stand the scientific dictum that there is no such thing as matter from a scientific point of view. That which we call matter is held to be merely an aggregation of atoms, which atoms themselves are merely a grouping of units of force called electrons or eons, vibrating and in constant circular motion. We kick a stone and we feel the impact. It seems to be real, notwithstanding that we know it to be merely what we have stated above. But remember that our foot, which feels the impact by means of our brains, is likewise matter, so constituted of electrons, and for that matter, so are our brains. And at best, if it were not by reason of our mind, we would not know the foot or stone at all. Then again, the ideal of the artist or sculptor, which he is endeavoring to reproduce in stone or on canvas, seems very real to him. So do the characters in the mind of the author or dramatist when he seeks to express so that of others may recognize him or them. And if it be true in the case of our finite minds, what must be the degree of reality in the mental images created in the mind of the infinite? Oh, friends, to mortals, this universe of mentality is very real indeed. It is the only one we could ever know. Though we rise from the plane to plane higher and higher in it, to know it otherwise by actual experience, we must be the all itself. It is true that the higher we rise in the scale, the nearer to the mind of the Father we reach, the more apparent becomes the illusionary nature of the finite things, but not until the all finally withdraws us into itself does this vision actually vanish. So we need not to dwell upon the feature of illusion. Rather, let us, recognizing the real nature of the universe, seek to understand its mental laws and endeavor to use them to the best effect in our upward progress through life. As we travel from plane to plane of being, the laws of the universe are nonetheless iron laws because of the mental nature. All except the all are bound by them. What is in the infinite mind of the all is real in degree, second only to the second only to that reality itself, which is vested in the nature of the all. So, do not feel insecure or afraid. We are all held firmly in the infinite mind of the all, and there is not to hurt us or for us to fear. There is no power outside of the all to affect us. So we may rest calm and secure. There is a world of comfort and security in this realization when once attained. Then calm and peaceful do we sleep rocked in the cradle of the deep, resting safely on the bosom of the ocean of infinite mind, which is the all. The all, indeed, do we live and move and have our being. Matter is none the less matter to us. While we dwell on the plane of matter, although we know it to be merely an aggregation of electrons or particles of force vibrating rapidly and gyrating around each other in the formations of atoms. The atoms, in turn, vibrating and gyrating, forming molecules, which in turn form larger masses of matter. Nor does matter become less matter when we follow the inquiry still further and learn from the Hermetic teachings that the force of which the electrons are but units is merely a manifestation of the mind of the all, and like all else in the universe is purely mental in its nature. While on the plane of matter, we must recognize this phenomenon. We may control matter as all matters of higher or lesser degree do, but we do so by applying the higher forces. We commit to a folly when we attempt to deny the existence of matter in the relative aspect. We may deny its mastery over us, and rightly so, but we should not attempt to ignore it in its relative aspect, at least so long as we dwell upon its plane, because the earth is matter. Nor do the laws of nature become less constant or effective when we know them, likewise, to be merely mental creations. They are in full effect on the various planes, and we overcome the lower laws by applying still higher ones, and in this way only. But we cannot escape law or rise above it entirely. Nothing but the all can escape law, and that because the all is law itself, from which all laws emerge. The most advanced masters may acquire the powers usually attributed to the gods of men, and there are countless ranks of being in the great hierarchy of life whose being and power transcends even that of the highest masters among men to a degree unthinkable by mortals. But even the highest master and the highest being must bow down to the law and be as nothing in the eye of the all. So that if even these highest beings whose powers exceed even though attributed hold on attributed um attributed by men to their gods, even if these are bound by and are subservient to law, then imagine the presumption of mortal man of our race and our grade when he dares to consider the laws of nature as unreal, visionary, and illusory, because he happens to be able to grasp the truth that the laws are mental in nature and simply mental creations of the all. Those laws which the all intends to be governing laws are not to be defined or argued away. So long as the universe endures, will they endure? For the universe exists by virtue of these laws which form its framework and which holds it together. The Hermetic principle of mentalism, while explaining the true nature of the universe upon the principle that all is mental, does not change the scientific conceptions of the universe, life, or evolution. In fact, science merely corroborates the Hermetic teachings. The latter, the latter merely teaches that the nature of the universe is mental, while modern science has taught that it is material, or of late that it is energy at the last analysis. Y'all, let me draw some water. I think this is a long chapter. We're going to put a pause. I know, read myself into the illusion. Yeah, this is a long chapter. I'm going to finish it. But let me just drink some water, child. So, what do y'all think about the book so far? I bet y'all didn't think we were going to be in this chapter that fast. We are in chapter 6, baby. Let me find it on the screen. I forgot to keep turning the screen, y'all. So it's saying that right now they calling matter energy. Okay. Hold on, I'm trying to find it. Okay, here it is. It's saying as of late, now they referring to it as energy. Let me pause. I done read myself into a little stupor. I'm like, let me breathe, okay? So it's saying to you, excuse me, it's saying that maybe, just maybe, matter was just somebody else's version of how it went. Maybe matter didn't exist, period. It could be what they call a hypothesis. Okay. Okay. So I'm gonna get back into the chapter. I'm like, honey, can I have a break? Okay. Okay. Let's get back into it, y'all. Um, the energy. Okay. Found it. The Hermetic teachings have no fault to find with Herbert Spencer's basic principle, which postulates the existence of an infinite and eternal energy from which all things proceed. In fact, the Hermetics recognize in Spencer's philosophy the highest outside statement of the workings of the natural laws that have been promulgated, and they believe Spencer to have been a reincarnation of an ancient philosopher who dwelt in ancient Egypt thousands of years ago and who later incarnated as Heraclitus, the Grecian philosopher. You have to look up who that is. It was a Grecian philosopher who lived in BC 500. And that's Heraclitus. And they regard his statement of the infinite and eternal energy as directly in line of Hermetic teachings, always with the addition of their own doctrine that his energy is the energy of the mind of the all. With the master key of the Hermetic philosophy, the student of Spencer will be able to unlock many doors of the inner philosophical conceptions of the great English philosopher, whose work shows the results of the preparation in his previous incarnations. His teachings regarding evolution and rhythm are in almost perfect agreement with the Hermetic teachings regarding the principle of rhythm. So, the student of the Hermetics need not lay aside any of his cherished scientific views regarding the universe, as he is asked to do. All he is asked to do is grasp the underlying principle. Hold on, let me turn the page. Of the all is mind, and the universe is mental, held in the mind of the all. He will find that the other 6 of the 7 principles will fit into his scientific knowledge and will serve to bring out obscure points and to throw light in dark corners. This is not to be wondered at when we realize the influence of the Hermetic thought on the early philosophers of Greece, upon whose foundations of thought the theories of modern science largely rest. The substance of the first Hermetic principle, mentalism, is the only great point of difference between modern science and Hermetic students, and science is gradually moving toward the Hermetic position in its groping in the dark for a way out of the labyrinth into which it has wandered in its search for reality. The purpose of this lesson is to impress upon the minds of our students the fact that, to all intents and purposes, the universe and its laws and its phenomena are just as real so far as man is concerned. I be trying to have a clear mind, and today my mind just keeps wandering, okay? Okay. Let me focus. We're almost there, y'all. So as far as man is concerned, as they would be under the hypothesis of materialism or energism. Under any hypothesis, the universe in its outer aspect is changing, ever-flowing, and transitory, and therefore devoid of substantiality and reality. But note, the other pole of truth, under any of the same hypothesis, we are compelled to act and live as if the fleeting things were real and substantial. With this difference, always between the various hypotheses, that under the old views, mental power was ignored as a natural force, while under mentalism it becomes the greatest natural force. And this one difference revolutionizes life to those who understand the principle, its resulting laws and practice. So finally, students all grasp the advantage of mentalism and learn to know, use, and apply the laws resulting therefrom, but do not yield to the temptation which, as the Kybalion states, overcomes the half wise and which causes them to be hypnotized by the apparent unreality of things. They really just snapped. They just said, look, child, I had them read into a stupor. She said, me too. Okay, so what he just snapped and said, for all of you that are out there setting intentions, including me, sometimes setting intentions and don't think that you have to put the matter behind it, then you are leaning towards a half truth. Okay? Yes, the universe is mental, but you gotta put some matter behind it. And so finally, students are grasp the advantage of mentalism and learn to know and use and apply the laws resulting therefrom, but do not yield to the temptation which, as the Kybalion states, overcomes the half-wise and which causes them to be hypnotized by the apparent unreality of things. The consequence being that they wander about like dream people, dwelling in a world of dreams, ignoring the practical work and life of man, and the end being that they are broken against the rocks and torn asunder by the elements by reason of their folly. Rather follow the example of the wise, which the same authority states use law against laws, the higher against the lower, and by the art of alchemy transmute that which is undesirable into that which is worthy and thus triumph. So you got to learn how to take what you have and transform it to what you really want. Alchemy, you got to transmute it. He said, following the authority lets us avoid the half wisdom, which is folly, which ignores the truth that mastery consists not in abnormal dreams, visions, and fantastic imaginings or living, but in using the higher forces against the lower, escaping the pains of the lower planes by vibrating on the higher. Remember always, student, that transmutation, not presumptuous denial, is the weapon of the master. Those that know how to change their circumstances. The above quotations are from the Kybalion and are worthy of being committed to memory by the student. Everything they just said, they telling you it's okay to memorize that. We do not live in a world of dreams, but in a universe which, while relative, is real so far as our lives and actions are concerned. Our business in the universe is not to deny its existence, but to live using the laws to rise from lower to higher, living on, doing the best that we can under the circumstances arising each day, and living so far as is possible to our highest ideas and ideals. The true meaning of life is not known to men on this plane, if indeed to any but the highest authorities, and our own intuitions teach us that we will make no mistake in living up to the best that is in us, so far as is up to the best that is in us. Oh, so far as possible. So far as is possible. And realizing the universal tendency in the same direction in spite of apparent evidences to the contrary. We are all on the path. Say it again. We are all on the path. And the road leads upward ever with frequent resting places. Read the message of the Kybalion and follow the example of the wise, avoiding the mistake of the half-wise who perish by reason of their folly. Oh, we got through it, child. Hold on. Yeah, we got through that, child. That was a lot. Let me go back and highlight these quotations, though. It made sure to let you know you can't just clean the half-truths. Honey. Follow the example of the wise, avoiding the mistake of the half-wise who perish by their folly. That's why I was saying when people are like, oh, yes, you're supposed to meditate, but you also don't clean the half-truths. You got to do other stuff other than meditation, if that makes sense. I'm looking for the quotation mark. It's a lot. They say you were supposed to use law against laws, the higher against the lower. It said, mastery consists not in abnormal dreams, visions, and fantastic imaginings of living, but in using the higher forces against the lower, escaping the pains of the lower planes by vibrating on the higher. Child. Yeah, I'm definitely go back and replay this. It was so much I got slick lost in the middle of it. I wasn't lost, it was just a lot to process. I try not to read through. I need to start stopping and going in on some stuff. Because when I read straight through, and sometimes I don't remember what stuck out. They did point out now they're switching from matter to saying they're using the term energy. Okay. That was chapter. Wow. That was chapter 6. Let me see. Let me make sure. Chapter 6, the divine paradox. The next chapter is chapter 7, the all in all. And so, what I like about this book, because a lot of people are like, why you like this book? I like it because it teaches you that you're not supposed to be allowing your emotions or anything else to control you. And I am a Cancer rising, which means Cancer is the emotions. And so it says the master learns to not be swayed by its emotions. And so it's giving you everything you need to operate in right brain and left brain on a level, a balanced level, so that you can make success for yourself. And it also explains how to relate those things to the universe. And so, awesome book, but it can be overwhelming. Like I said, the first time we read this book in High Priestess class, I was totally lost. I didn't know what was going on. I couldn't tell you what was happening every time we read it. Yeah, I was totally lost. And so I didn't understand we was reading the book backwards. So then we I personally took it upon myself to say, let me read it from the front, because you read it from the back, I was confused. Read it from the front. Okay, I read it from the front. Then I went back and read it backwards. And so it just might take you a couple of times to get it. But by the time you get it, you'll be like, wow, you can understand why this book is so popular. You can understand why they have remixed it 5,900 times. They took a lot out of this book. That's why I said if you order it, get the older versions. But yeah, that just wore me out. The Divine Paradox wore me out. All this uphill is like you need a nap. So I'm gonna go. Thank you for spending time, sis. I appreciate the support. Sometimes I just be want somebody on here too. And so we've been chilling and hanging out, and I appreciate you. Shout out to everybody that has read this book, that is participating in the book club. I see some of y'all play it once I posted. And so I appreciate y'all. So keep playing it. Don't forget to thumbs up the video. Don't forget to share, subscribe, and like. Don't forget, your girl is trying to get monetized. I need 300 more people subscribed, and the more you participate, it's pushing me up in the algorithm, and I can get monetized. And so think about it. All right, and I'm going to get out of here. Peace and power. See you later. And I'm out. I appreciate yours. You don't have to tune in. I know sometimes the book can be overwhelming, but like I say, if you feel called, play it back, because sometimes it'll be me. Play it back. It's not pausing and all that. Baby, I just couldn't believe it. My head was swimming at that point. All right. Peace. And I'm out. Oh, let me put my peace and power back up. I gotta remember. I need to type in here, subscribe, like. Let me type it in. I ain't got to rush. So peace and power is okay. Yes, this is gonna be in the video. Now, don't forget, y'all, I got a crypto class coming up, Mastering Crypto. If I do not have your email, I can't invite you to the class. It is free. Y'all love free. That's why when I do be charging y'all for something, I'm finna text you, okay? I give away a lot of free content. This is one of those. This is one of those things. It is free, absolutely free, and so we're gonna start. Trying to think, do I want to start on a Monday, or should I stop trying to do everything at the beginning of the week and start on a Tuesday? I think we're gonna start on a Tuesday. And so I'm tonight I am getting the email ready. Everybody who are already on my mail list, you will be receiving this email sometime this week. I don't want to bite off more than I can chew. Sometime this week. Y'all know I gotta go on Canva and hit me up, do me a little nice flyer, you know what I'm saying? And so it's 5:55. These are my words. I'm gonna work on email, and then I'll send it out to y'all. Again, peace and power, and I'm out.